Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we go exploring. And what better way to go exploring than two tricked out, beautiful hydrogen rockets? That's right. These puppies are filled with 1,800 kilos of liquid hydrogen, 450 kilos of liquid oxygen, and they are ready and prepared to go 18 tiles at a speed of 1.1 tiles per cycle. What makes it even better is they have all the features. We're talking about matching Trailblazer modules, 7 solar panel modules, a battery module. Man, these things are ready for anything that can be thrown at it. In addition, we've also done another redesign on the interiors. And this is what we're working with. It doesn't have some of the same room bonuses as our previous interiors, but it is racked and stacked with everything you need for intrepid exploration. We start off with a barracks and a latrine, and again we're using the hand sanitizer because bleach stone's a little easy to come by, especially when the hand sanitizer station only requires 15 kilos of bleach stone and it lasts an awful long time. We have a gas pump that's loading up a couple of atmosuit docks, and it is connected to the power outlet fitting. And this time, there is no shortcuts being made with power. We have plenty of power to be able to run these two atmosuit docks and the gas pump. We have 10 tons of oxalite in each rocket and enough berry sludge to last a long time. We can click on none over here. Right now it has the grounded interior building restrictions, so you don't get all the information. But as soon as we click on none, I was going to say, as soon as you click on none, it'll show you because, the refrigerator will become unrestricted and it'll show you how much berry sludge we have loaded up. Except there seems to be yet another bug with the interiors of these rockets. You can see right now it still has access restricted, even though it's not restricted in the interior buildings. Let me try deconstructing this rocket control station and then seeing if that resolves it. Lucky for us, in the other rocket, we didn't have that bug, and so you can see each rocket interior is loaded up with a beautiful 200 kilos of berry sludge. That's enough for 100 cycles for each of our occupants. Plenty for any sort of away missions. And now that we removed the rocket control station, you can see here we have 180,000 kilos of berry sludge in here, probably because some dupes have came and stole some since we had the restrictions off. Alright, now that we've got the rocket control station rebuilt, it is working again the way it's supposed to be. Now to finish up our tour, we also have a good bit of decor thanks to our beautiful Joya seeds. Now, we still don't have as many Joya seeds as we would like because we used so many in our condos. So the more Joya seeds we find, we'll throw them in those rockets. You can see here that we're still actually waiting on more Blissburst seeds. We also have the rocket loaded down with about 5 tons of plastic, steel, and glass. We also have a bunch of reed fiber, anything we may need when we get to the next planet, steel being of a particular concern. And the reason why is because we only have 2 Trailblazer modules combined. And you may remember, when you deconstruct 2 Trailblazer modules, you'll have enough steel for 1 rocket platform. So we're bringing along a little bit extra steel to be able to build that second rocket platform. The last thing to do inside the rockets will be to add the atmosuit dock checkpoint. And that way, when the dupes run in, they'll take off their suits, and when they leave the rocket on whatever planet we go to, they'll put their suit backs on. And if you haven't seen the episode where we first started doing this, just a word of warning. Do not put the atmosuit dock checkpoint in this tile here. This tile is the tile that's responsible for doing the teleportation of the dupes in and out of the rocket, and so basically, they won't get changed into their suits the way they're supposed to. The question now becomes, which dupes do we take on our intrepid mission? I think you always have to start with Optimus, right? He's our most skilled dupe. He has all the benefits from the neural vacillators. It's definitely going to be Optimus. And since we're taking Optimus, we need a pilot for the other rocket. So why not Megatron? Megatron only has rocket piloting, and so we'll be able to throw in whatever we need. So that leaves 2 more duplicates. And since we're taking Megatron, we might as well take Bumblebee. He's a jack of all trades and is going to be the away team's mechatronics engineer. And then finally, for any of our research needs, we'll take Wheeljack. Now all we have to do is add the beautiful checkpoint and we'll be ready to go. Beautiful. Now we are ready to load up. Switch over to crew on both of them. And before I forget, let's make sure we allow them to eat the berry sludge. Now it's time to pick out our destination. You'll note that each of the hydrogen rockets can go 18 tiles. And that design is very specific, because that means they'll be able to get to any planetoid and back on one tank of gas. For our first mission though, we're heading to Rikil. We've got to find out if the tree is in this little area. Plus, while we're there, we can grab our 2 artifacts. Let's set their destination to Rikil, but because there's no rocket platform yet, they just have to orbit. They are both set. Pre-flight sequence has began. And now we get to see the monstrous amount of heat these hydrogen engines produce. Cool new effect. Look at the fuel tanks sweating. I'm going to try to get some simultaneous launches. So we're going to pause the game, hit begin launch sequence on both rockets. So that way they both go up at the same time. Oh yeah, here we go. Look at the amount of heat. Up to 2000 C. Looks like we didn't suffer any damage either. Now the flight to Rikil is not that bad. It's only 3.5 cycles. Once we get there, we'll be able to put some dupes and some Trailblazer modules and get ready for landing. Meanwhile, I figured it'd be a good time for a Pacu check. Oh yeah, 111 Pacu. And we're just getting started. We also have 33 eggs. Another update over here on Smelial. We've literally dug up everything on this planetoid. Now it falls to Ironhide to pick up every last bit. Now we could automate this, right? We could put a bunch of auto sweepers and maybe some conveyor rail systems to bring it up there. But Ironhide still has another 102 cycles worth of food. I mean, we might as well have him do something while he's here. A word of warning on the new grounded system. I did not notice that Elita had gotten back in Venus 5, and so she wasn't able to eat because it was ungrounded, so she had no access to the refrigerator. She also had no access to the outhouse. Now that she's back and we unchecked none, she'll be able to carry on with her duties until I click over on all, and then she'll get out. All we're waiting for right now is for her to put her suit on, and she'll do that after she wakes up. Not a big deal. And what'd we get this time? An egg-shaped. I'm assuming it's an egg-shaped rock? I don't know. We'll see how it comes out in the artifact system. And one of our new artifacts is the magma lamp. Its description says, it's a sequel to the lava lamp. What's even funnier about the magma lamp is it actually produces light. So does the bioluminescent rock. You can see the little light they have coming off of them. Very cool hidden little effect. With our dupes on their voyage, it's always a good time to check how their morale is doing once you have a new interior system. You need to make sure you're keeping up with your dupes' morale requirements based on how many skills they have. And for us, we're doing just fine. Even inside the Recon Virgo, Optimus has a 32 and Wheeljack has a 28 morale. And then in the Dazzling Calypso, which sounds like a magician act on some weird Caribbean cruise, Bumblebee has a 32 morale and Megatron has a 30 morale. Megatron and Bumblebee are having a conversation. It looks like about Atmos suits. I've never really seen them going back and forth about one item like that. We're getting Elita ready for the next run, and I realized we still had one more height available, so we're going to add another artifact transport module. And this makes sense too, because some of the places we're going, we're just going to stop there, grab the artifact, and go to the next place. Like we can knock out a couple of interstellar oceans. We really don't need any of the salt or ice. Alright, our away team of both ships have arrived and they are in orbit at Rikil. Now, we need to be a little careful. So what we're going to do is undock one suit and have the dupe that we're putting in a Trailblazer module put it on. And in this case, it's Bumblebee. As soon as he's done relieving himself and eating. Alright, Bumblebee is finally... Oh, I was going to say Bumblebee finally has a suit on, but unfortunately he docked it back. So let's try this again. Undock it. Put the suit on. Now don't move, Bumblebee. I've got something for you. Let's head to the rocket control station instantly and select Bumblebee. See if he disappears with the Atmosuit on. And he keeps taking it off. What I think we're going to do, we're going to undock the suit and disable the building. Maybe the building being disabled will prevent them from putting the suit back in there. Here we go. Now we'll have Bumblebee put it on. And he still puts it in there. I didn't want to resort to this because, quite frankly, we're about to lose a lot of the oxygen. But now we will undock it and we will deconstruct it. Can't put a suit in there if there's no dock. Heh, I win, Bumblebee. Now put the seat on. Nope, you're not going to sleep. You're not going to sleep. He's going to sleep. Alright, Bumblebee finally has the suit on and has nowhere that he can redock it. We already have Bumblebee set, so we can just click deploy. And now we have some options. I was originally looking over here because I would have liked that they were close to the entrance of this little area. But I don't think there's enough room here for 2 rocket platforms, which leaves this area. I think with a little bit of digging, we might be able to get 2 in here. So let's deploy Bumblebee here and deploy Optimus here. We will wait for the game to finish saving, and then Optimus will land and jump out. Way to go, buddy. Now remember, it's just a graphical bug. You can see they are wearing the rest of the suit. It just doesn't show the helmet. Now their suits will have a decent amount of oxygen, but it doesn't mean we can be all willy-nilly with our time. So let's go ahead and deconstruct these as soon as possible, and I think we can dig these up as well. Apparently Optimus is ready for a nap in the vacuum of space. Thanks, buddy. What's the matter? Too bright? Or is it the fact that Bumblebee's shooting a parts gun at you? Yeah, you're gonna be grumpy. Get over it. Alright, it does look like we can squeeze both in here with at least one more tile for a ladder segment. So let's go ahead and put the first one down and land that rocket. Optimus, since you are clearly not busy, you can deconstruct these and we will put a metal door. Remember our old buddy Rover the First? He wasn't able to build doors. In fact, he's not able to do much of anything anymore. It's good seeing you, Rover. Alright, the rocket platform is down. It doesn't really matter which one we need to land. They both have identical payloads. So let's just go ahead and pick one. So I couldn't figure out why the rocket wouldn't land here. And apparently it's because there's not enough space. It has low clearance. What I'm assuming it's talking about is the clearance from here to where the bottom of the cannot build area is. It's only 32 tiles. I thought our rocket was smaller than 32 tiles, but in fact we can go check. If we go back to Fertilera, it is 35 tiles. Alright, so now we're kind of running out of a little bit of time. So let's deconstruct this and then start digging down, shall we? We need an extra 3 tiles of space, so that is what we will make. Boys, you need to hurry. And I just realized these heroes are about to destroy these tiles, and all this steel is going to drop it down into here. Okay. Leave it to dupes to make something so simple so difficult. Let's go get the steel. Let's do that with some ladder segments. We don't need too many, just a couple. And once they can get their hands on the steel, they will throw it in the rocket platform. Nope. Nope. Wrong answer, Optimus. Wrong answer, buddy. Oh, jeez. Okay, why aren't we building this? Because we can't dig to it. Okay. Alright, alright. We're gonna be okay. I've realized now that we've moved down 2 tiles, we want to actually be able to dig enough space to put the rocket platform, which requires 7 tiles. And the reason why, there's neutronium here. Because what we need is 15 tiles. 14 for the 2 rocket platforms and 1 for a ladder segment. I want to deconstruct this rocket platform, but I know good and well they're going to drop the steel all the way down here. Let's give it a go, shall we? Oh, that's good. Bumblebee's taking a nap. In our digging, we tried to get Optimus down here and he fell. So, yeah. We're going to have to do this the very hard way. Couple ladder segments, and then he should... Nope, he won't be able to get up there. Couple more ladder segments, and then he'll be rejoining Bumblebee. Didn't we say it? But at least here we're going to have everything built. So we will have access to the steel. Alright, third time's the charm. This time we're building a ladder all the way up to dig this out because I'm not quite sure if the rocket can land through this. While we're at it, we can actually unequip their suit and then re-equip their suit, and that way the graphics will show up. We're getting to the point where their Atmos suits are running out of oxygen because we were so picky about where to put the rocket platform. Lucky for us, there's plenty of polluted oxygen around here. Alright, as soon as we remove that last little bit of material, the scaffolding came up, which I'm assuming our rocket is able to land now and melt all the sedimentary rock ladders. But that's okay, because once we land, we're done. That's it. These rockets are staying here for a while. I was looking around to see if there was any obsidian, and I don't see anything. The best it looks like we have... Oh, there's a little bit of obsidian right there. For now, though, the sedimentary rock will have to do. We need the other steel so we can land the other rocket. One great thing is it looks like the rocket provided enough steam. It's filling this place up with water. It looks like Klei's added another little graphic. When the rocket's on a planetoid, it shows a planetoid underneath it. Very cool. We were in here rebuilding the Atmos suit dock. We're about ready to start living in out of this rocket, and we need access to that steel. One thing you have to make sure you do is click all. That way the dupes are allowed in and out of the Spacefarer module. Now, Optimus is too hard-headed and refuses. Wants to sleep on top of the oxidizer tank. Alright, and the second rocket platform has been completed. Let's bring the Recon Virgo down. Not too bad of a landing. Now we'll just connect the two rockets using a couple more sedimentary rock ladder segments. We'll set this to all. And then we're going to build the ladder segment that goes in between both of them. And I'll show you why in a minute. It's a good little trick that I saw on Francis John's channel to prevent dupes from going into rockets that they're not supposed to be going into. The system's pretty simple. You just build a couple of doors and only let those duplicates who belong to that rocket through the door. In this case, this rocket belongs to Megatron and Bumblebee. And that means this one is Wheeljack and Optimus. And because they invariably started in the wrong rockets, before I put the doors up, I made sure the default is that they could get through outside of the rocket. They just won't be able to go in the other way, unless this is their rocket. I have the dupes picking up some of the stuff laying on the ground, just to make sure we try to keep this place as neat and tidy as possible, to keep the frame rates up. Optimus, you have a bathroom you could have gone to. But now, it's time to see what's through this door. And there she is, the mighty tree. Alright, for those of you who are seeing the Experiment 52B for the first time, this is now how you get iso resin. Well, this is how you get resin, and then it's your responsibility to turn the resin into iso resin. And you do that by literally just boiling it. Its boiling point is 125 degrees, and once it's boiled, it produces iso resin and steam. But the key and the pain in the butt about Experiment 52B is it's not a happy tree. It's actually a pretty mad tree. And the only way to get the resin out of it is to feed the tree. As an example, we're going to go ahead and take Optimus and move him right here. You know, for science. So we can all see what happens when you get in the way of the tree. Yeah, the tree doesn't like it very much, and then Optimus runs. The leader of the Autobots runs from a tree. Now it's our responsibility to feed it. We don't really have the setup here to feed it quite yet, but you know what I see here? Paku. We could set up another infinite Paku setup, and then feed all the fillets to the tree. And I think that's exactly what we're going to do in our next episode. I know this one wasn't a very long episode, but it did take a lot of work in the background to get these beautiful rockets set up and loaded. But now that we've worked out the bugs, we've got them landed. Eventually, I'd like to upgrade these ladders from sedimentary rock because that's not going to last long. We will kind of set up what we need to on this planetoid, namely an ability to feed experiment 52B. Once we figure out feeding the tree, we can then launch the resin back to our home planet using the handy dandy interplanetary launchers. In the meantime, though, our away team will be living fine. They have plenty of food inside their rockets. They have nice beds. They have oxygen. They will do just fine. Before you see another episode of Oxygen Not Included, you will probably see an episode of Humankind. For those of you keeping up with PC gaming news, you'll know that Humankind is a 4X type of strategy game that is releasing tonight. I'll definitely be spending a couple of days getting familiar with it, and I figured I'd share it with you. Let me know in the comments below if there's something specific you'd like to see out of Humankind, or if there's something specific you'd like to see on our Rekiel and what we want to do with this tree. I hope you had fun, and I'll look forward to talking to you soon.